It's my pleasure and privilege to express the warm felicitations of the government and people of Nigeria to you all on this occasion of the 10th Conference of Ministers and the 10th anniversary of the Fisheries Committee for the West Central Gulf of Guinea. Please accept also our congratulations on the occasion of your 10th anniversary. Let me also extend the gratitude of the government and people of Nigeria to the FCWC for giving us the opportunity to host this anniversary. I'm told that this is the second time that Nigeria is hosting this yearly meeting, and I hope that we will be given a chance to host it even more frequently. It's important to remind ourselves of the objectives of this regional body, which include the strengthening of sub-regional cooperation in fisheries management, monitoring, surveillance, and enforcement operations, and the development of the capacity of small-scale fishing operators in member countries to create sustainable livelihoods. On the matter of small-scale fishing operators, a point that we cannot overlook is that most of our economies thrive largely on the combined energy of multitudes of individual entrepreneurs and small businesses, farmers, fishermen, artisans, traders, all of whom form what really is the economies of our nations. Our policies and programs as governments must therefore be directed towards supporting the aspirations and ambitions of these small-scale but big energy entrepreneurs. All 6 member countries also need to deepen strategic cooperation to harness the enormous fisheries potentials in the Gulf of Guinea for the benefit of our people. I implore the Secretariat of the FCWC to prioritize the speedy sharing of information between member states in order to more effectively checkmate the activities of foreign vessels fishing illegally within our territorial waters. Your Excellencies, it is in the common and vital interest of our nations that we continue to give the FCWC our full support for the sustainable management of our fisheries. On the part of Nigeria, we will continue to play our role in support of the FCWC. In line with this, just as the Minister had earlier mentioned, I'm happy to inform you that we have paid almost about $200,000 of our debt to the FCWC this year. And I say the figure just so as to encourage everyone else to toe the line of repaying our debts as quickly as we can. The safety of Nigeria's maritime waters is also of principal concern to us. To this end, President Buhari has approved the purchase of some vessels for the Department of Fisheries, some patrol vessels for the Department of Fisheries, which will be managed in collaboration with the Nigerian Navy. These vessels will boost the search and rescue capacities of the relevant security agencies, deter illegal fishing, prevent illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing, and help secure our vessels at sea. In the northeast of Nigeria, where the terrorist activities of Boko Haram has devastated a fishing industry that has historically supplied much of West Africa, again, President Buhari, earlier this year, approved the establishment of a Lake Chad naval base to boost security and fast-track the restoration of deprived livelihoods in that zone. The theme of this conference, which is investing for growth and sustainability for fisheries in West Africa, I believe is an important one, both in terms of sharing experiences and laying out our aspirations for the economic well-being of our people. So perhaps I might ask that you indulge me for a minute or so to share some of our own successes, especially in agriculture and investment generally. Agriculture, of course, especially aquaculture, is easily one of the most critical of the multiple engines that will diversify our economies and create jobs and prosperity, especially for our young people. We have focused, as you've heard earlier from the Honourable Minister, on agriculture as being perhaps the pathway for sustainable growth for our people, and also for providing the much needed jobs for the hundreds of thousands of young people who are graduating each year and coming out of various levels of our educational institutions. We think that fisheries and the whole aquaculture economy will supply what we need in terms of opportunities for several of these young people. And there are several initiatives which we're preferring and which our Ministry of Agriculture has been leading in the past few months. I'm pleased to note that our efforts to reduce fish imports and increase local fish production by encouraging the private sector to invest in aquaculture is yielding positive results. Our domestic fish production, for example, in the last 2 years has increased from 450,000 metric tons to 1.1 million metric tons. And we expect that this growth will be exponential, especially as all of the initiatives which we're looking at key into our overall plans. There's no doubt that the results of the work that we're doing, especially to encourage investment in Nigeria, based on our conviction that Nigeria's economic revolution must be led by private capital, and that government's primary role is to simply create the enabling environment for commerce to thrive unhindered, has greatly assisted our work in this respect. We've worked quite hard to ensure that we create the environment for investment, small investments, medium-sized investments, and large investments. And we've worked at this, especially in the last 1 year, by implementing a series of reforms that have earned us a place in the World Bank's list of 10 most improved economies in 2017. From a business climate improvement perspective, some of these reforms range from simplifying registration processes for new businesses, to making it easier for investors and entrepreneurs to access credit, to implementing a visa on arrival scheme that takes just about 48 hours to process. We're also effecting reforms aimed at easing bottlenecks in our seaports for the benefit of importers and exporters. And several of these reforms, of course, many of them at their nascent stages, and we are working daily to improve them and to fine-tune them. But we've realized that we need to have an enabling environment, not just for foreign investment, but in particular for local investments to thrive. It is where local investments thrive that foreign investments may then feel enabled and feel inspired to come in to invest. So our focus is on ensuring that local investment thrives through several of the initiatives that we have introduced. I'd like to reiterate the philosophy behind these reforms. And this is that Nigeria is open for business and investment. And we'd like to see investors take us up on this pledge. You're very likely aware that there's a great deal of opportunity in Nigeria's aquaculture industry. The size of our domestic market and our status as a gateway to West Africa together constitute a compelling business case. Before I get carried away making this business case for Nigeria, let me once again express the gratitude of the Nigerian government and the people of Nigeria to the FCWC for giving Nigeria the opportunity to host you all. I hope that all of the visiting ministers and delegates have, in the last few days, found some time between the busy sessions to experience and enjoy the ambience and the warm hospitality and the culinary delights of Abuja. And if you have not, there is still a bit of time to catch up on that. I trust that you've had a successful and result-oriented deliberation so far, and that this ministerial conference will be ending on a fulfilling and productive note. Thank you very much, and God bless you.